Today, the web has a pretty specific look. Clean, minimalist designs, intuitive navigation, a polished aesthetic. Years and years of optimizing websites, the crystallization of best practices for search engines and user retention, it's all led to a certain homogeneity of the web and what a user can sort of expect to find on a given website. It wasn't always like this though. Just a few decades ago, the web was a wild, unpredictable digital frontier that was just begging to be explored. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, web design was a different beast entirely. It was a time when the rules were still being written by everyone. Websites were playgrounds of creativity, sometimes chaotic, often quirky, but always full of character. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane to visit some of these digital relics that are still online. These websites are like time capsules, preserving the look and feel of an era when the web was less about optimized user experiences and more about raw, unfiltered expression. From neon text and tiled backgrounds to spinning GIFs and frames, these sites are a reminder of just how far we've come, but also what we've left behind, and really a sort of celebration of the creativity that defined the early web. If you enjoy these nostalgic looks back in time, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss more videos in this series. But for now, let's dive into some classic websites that are still online today.
Look, I want to help, but I haven't played basketball in a long time. My timing's all off.
We'll fix your timing. Look at our facilities. We've got hoops.
Space Jam. Like most children of the 90s, I loved this movie growing up. In 1996, when the movie came out, Warner Brothers put up this promotional website, and it was incredible. It features an iconic aesthetic with this central classic Space Jam logo with all of these planets orbiting around it with just incredible names. I mean, who wouldn't want to ride the press box shuttle or travel to Jam Central? I probably would have lived at Planet B-Ball at the time. The website features a ton of random images and promotional material and interviews and bios of the characters and the basketball players that are part of the movie. It's incredible. It still looks in 2024 like it did in 1996, and it's just such an amazing time capsule. I hope this stays online forever. Now this is classic web design. This is DPGraph. After looking around the site, I still don't really have a perfect idea of what this program actually is, other than just some sort of visualization software for mathematics. The world's most powerful software for math and physics visualization. Create beautiful, interactive, dynamic, photorealistic 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, and 8D graphs. Yeah. So it looks like originally it was a paid program, but as of 2019, it's now available for everyone for free. So I don't know, I might have to download this. Honestly, it's just a great site overall, and it just makes me happy to look at. So sometimes things are as simple as that. I mean, there's a really good review here that says you'll be dazzled by ZDNet. So I don't know, I feel like I already am. I mean, we have this incredible looping GIF, set against the backdrop of more looping GIFs with sidebar ads that include more looping GIFs. I can't think of anything to complain about here. Now, this one's pretty fascinating. So, Bob Dole was the Republican presidential candidate in 1996 running against Bill Clinton. His campaign was focused on things like reducing government spending, cutting taxes, promoting conservative values, falling off of platforms. But arguably one of the most unique aspects of Dole's 1996 campaign was his website, which has gained a lot of notoriety in the years that have passed. The site was one of the first presidential campaign websites in US history, sort of representing an early use of the internet in national political campaigns. The website included information about the political stances of the Dole campaign, a little biography, a platform for volunteers to get involved. It was pretty innovative stuff at the time. He was running against Bill Clinton, who was also embracing the internet as the next frontier, so I guess he probably felt like he had to do this in order to keep up, and well, he ended up losing the race, of course, but still, the website is like this really awesome sort of early look into how political information got disseminated online, and also just an amazing relic of the time when the internet started to become a central vehicle for political messaging and communication. And it's just amazing to look back on this and see how things have evolved over the years, or maybe devolved, I guess. But nonetheless, this is a fascinating one. Heaven's Gate. This one is a little spooky. In case you've never heard of them, Heaven's Gate was this weird cult led by a guy named Marshall Applewhite, who convinced a bunch of people that they could hitch a ride on a spaceship trailing the Hale-Bopp comet if they left their mortal coil behind. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. We're having a good time here, and it's kind of dark, but you should probably look it up if you're interested, because it is fascinating. The real kicker, though, is that they had this website, heavensgate.com, where they sort of laid out all of their beliefs and made it public. And that website is still up today, largely untouched since the 90s, giving off this weird retro vibe that is sort of like a creepy internet time capsule of just how bizarre things got back then. Last but certainly not least, we're going back to where it all started. The very first website. It was created by Tim Berners-Lee, a British computer scientist who essentially pioneered the internet. Sort of makes sense that the first one ever would basically just be, well, instructions on how to use the internet. It also had a bunch of really cool information about what hypertext was and how you could link to things, and it included this cool directory where you could see what was on the web. I mean, this is essentially Google before Google. It was like all sorts of different sections, and it's hard to believe that the over 2 billion websites that exist today all started with this first one. These websites offer us just a small glimpse into those early days on the web, and for me, they remind me of how much potential we all saw and what it might become back then. Now, the jury's still out on whether the modern web is the best invention ever or the worst one, but it is fascinating to think about how we collectively got to where we are today online. Thank you so much for taking this stroll down memory lane with me. If you like this kind of deeper dive into forgotten and overlooked pieces of the past, be sure to like this video and subscribe. We'll be doing a lot more of these explorations of the early web very soon.